subscribe, and ring the bell to never miss an update. Hello everyone! We are going new places together. Today on Lady Mary Beth, I am taking you inside Katy Antiques, a hidden gem in the heart of historic downtown Katy, Texas. Join me. This shop on 2nd Street was originally Doobie's Supermarket that opened in 1947. The antique mall is full of sweet surprises, hidden gems, and so much more in store for us today. They are open 7 days a week. And of course, they are on the map of the Houston Resale Guide. Katy is west of Houston and a wonderful idea for a fun day of shopping. You can follow them on social media. Katy Antiques is on the map in the Houston Resale Guide, and it should be your #1 stop because they offer complimentary coffee and chocolate chip cookies for all of their shoppers. And I think I'm going to enjoy one right now. Definitely worth a visit with those cookies and the great treasure hunting and wonderful window displays as well. Love the red, white, and blue, and there's a bit of history hiding here too. Fun time of the year. It's a patriotic welcome at Katy Antiques, truly a hidden gem. This store is full of our favorite vintage treasures, home decor, design inspiration, and so much more. Some of you have posted on our Facebook group page, Lady Mary Beth's Table, your wonderful patriotic settings. I'm inspired by all the elements that you've pulled together. I encourage you to join us there at Lady Mary Beth's Table if you're not already part of our group. A patriotic red, white, and blue setting is easy to achieve if you shop your home and local antique store. And I see some flow blue. Let's take a closer look. A nice pop of color with the cardinals. Flow blue can sometimes be hard to decipher back stamps. It is, after all, the same design, a bit fuzzy. This one, luckily, has a debossed mark. Manufacturer stamp is Davenport with the anchor. And there you will see the pattern name that is nicely framed in that flow blue. An interesting flow blue plate with a bit of history, and we see that chinoiserie design. As we turn it over and see the back stamp in that Amoy pattern, we can do some research on Davenport. It was a fine English earthenware and porcelain manufacturer owned by the Davenport family from 1794 to 1887. The all-familiar red and white checkered cookbook. If you have one of these in your collection, I would love to hear from you in the comments. They have great window displays, and of course, I'm eyeing the Better Homes and Gardens cookbook. This is my favorite 1968 edition. They've sold over 40 million copies and counting. I have the 1968 version that my mother received as a bride, and I must say I use this on a weekly basis for pancakes, waffles, and my very favorite on page 70, pineapple upside-down cake. I also have the 1936 edition that I found at the Antique Gallery of Houston. It has a gray cover. Lots of design inspiration here, silk florals and EAPG cake pedestals. These have a bit of history, and you will see I have given some items today my stamp of approval. The Campbell Jones & Company diamond pattern cake pedestal is exquisite. Has those notched corners. It is EAPG, early American pattern glass. This was made in 1883. I had this same cake pedestal at my wedding as a centerpiece with cake. Just adore this cake pedestal at $74.95. And this round EAPG would be a nice companion piece. It is the Manhattan pattern with a Rumwell thumbprint design, priced at $72.95. If you're shopping for furniture, you may want to consider your local antique shop. They do have quality pieces. The oval shape is one of my favorites. You can fit more chairs around that size table than anything else. And the price is right. If you're shopping retail, you know you would pay 3 to 4 times that for something that may not even be as good quality as this piece. And it certainly is sustainable. A gate leg table is always a good idea. Well priced at $440, this is a quality piece that is a space saver. You can simply pull up each flap, brace it underneath when it's time for extra seating or serving space, and you know it has stood the test of time. I like to look at their displays. They give us some great ideas here, incorporating transferware. It doesn't have to all be antique. You can add newer elements as well. But it certainly gives it some class and credibility and a bit of history. Milk glass, one of my favorites, and here we have a nice variety. The little black dress of tabletop, dress it up, dress it down, it goes with everything. The silver crest is especially interesting. I like that crimped edge. You could fill it with scones, cookies, just about anything. Priced at $89.95 with that center bowl for a chip and dip. This banana boat would be great for keeping letters, stacking your mail. Many different ways to use this, including guest towels in the bathroom. $59.95. And now we're entering a fragrant world of potpourri, fabulous linens, and some decorative elements. It's just amazing, all the things that they have in the store. Even if you go shopping with a friend who maybe doesn't like antiques, they could certainly find some great items here. I like the eclectic mix, and French lavender is always a good idea. And it is Potpourri Central. This store is full of home accents, designer pillows, linens, and potpourri. We can have it all. Wouldn't that be a great gift to fill a bag of potpourri and include some vintage linens? Luscious lemons paired with the classic blue and white is always a good idea. I see some mid-century highballs as well. And the tea towels are affordable and make a great hostess gift. You could certainly pair that with a milk glass bowl full of lemons. Priced at $10.95. Almost has a hint of chinoiserie. And the glasses are priced individually at $7.95. That way you could buy a set of 4 or 6. You're not obligated to buy all of them. And they are dishwasher safe. I think these are from the 70s. They look familiar, probably made by the Libby Glass Company. And we have some lovely vintage linens. Think about these for a tray liner, place on a shelf, in a glass cloche with something interesting. And they're all beautifully presented, clean, organized. $15.95 for this piece. Love that design. And this would be perfect for a silver tray. I like that square shape. We have a silver tray in Germany that I brought last visit. I probably should have purchased that. Another beautiful window to shop with some design ideas. I like how they elevate. You could spend hours in this store. Something to discover in every corner, including some throw pillows. These are very affordable. They're about $25. And if you're looking for Texas-themed gifts, they also have a great selection here as well. And now we're going to look at some of our favorite vintage and antique treasures, starting with some mid-century with a patriotic touch. The Longaberger baskets are also highly collectible. That lucite handbag is interesting. And you'll notice the top of that vase has a different shape. We'll talk more about it. A great example of the asymmetry of the mid-century, the swung vase is regaining popularity. They were made by companies such as L.E. Smith, Viking, and this great example from Fenton. An interesting design process with these swung vases. They were removed from their molds, clamped at the end of a snap, and the glassmaker would take them, reheat them, and swing them to the desired length, and that's how we get that asymmetrical look. And this was quite a staple of the mid-century. It's the bottom shelf advantage. Always worth a look down. You may find something fantastic. And I must say, this is the first for me to find this pattern in its original box. Brand new in a box, the early American Prescott pattern. This launched in 1960, great example of the mid-century. These are snack plates, and I love seeing that original packaging. These are priced at $35 for the 8-piece set in the original packaging. One of the most prolific patterns in U.S. glassmaking history. It was made until 1999. There were originally 4 pieces that launched in 1960, the covered candy dish, a serving bowl, round platter, and the rectangular hostess tray. It has sort of a Schleuderstern design that is seen in European crystal, and of course this is pressed glass. Brightly colored glass that has a history dating back to the Victorian times, and one company that actually merged with another very famous glass company. We'll take a look at some of these beautiful pieces and discuss the history. This satin quilted patterned glass is something you may see in resale or antique stores. You might assume it's Fenton. It's actually Mount Washington glass, started in Boston in 1837, and this crimped vase is priced at $59. A viewer purchased a small rose bowl at the Bluebird Circle during the Houston Resale Guide launch, and it was a beauty. Mount Washington was the largest producer of American Victorian art glass. They later operated under Pearpoint Glass Company since they produced lots of shades, and this lovely satin tangerine pitcher can also be attributed to the years during Pearpoint, which permanently closed in 1957. That tangerine is terrific. So many beautiful shades. You can also shine a UV light to see if it glows. Frederick Shirley developed a Burmese glass formula when he worked for Mount Washington, was later licensed to Thomas Webb & Sons in England at the request of Queen Victoria. I adore rose bowls, especially when they are well priced, very practical and purposeful. And of course, I will give this my stamp of approval, and that means that you can go into the store and find it as well, if it's still available. Things do sell fast, I can tell you that. Such craftsmanship in these pieces. I think if you're going to take one, you should take them both. You could create a lovely display with these. Who can resist a half-price rose bowl, $22.50. This is made in Poland. You can tell by that tight design there, and it's a bit frosted. And the Schleuderstern, which is seen in many European cut crystal pieces. And this, I think, is a great deal. You know, I've used this in a myriad of ways, including as a tissue holder. The amethyst cut to clear is nicely elevated on this EAPG cake stand. Again, half price, an amazing deal. And this would be perfect for a candle with that wide opening. There is lots to discover. You could spend all day here, and you certainly need a cookie break or two. And I happen to see some patriotic colors here and a beautiful lemonade set. We'll talk more about that. Transferware from Spode at the Cottage Blue. That oval mirror is nice too. So many great items in this booth. I even saw some German dishes, but the milk glass has my heart. I wish I had more space for this set, or I would have taken it home. A fair price, $89. I'll tell you more about the history of the manufacturer, and just a fantastic set. I encourage you to pop over, and yes, it definitely got a sticker today. Look at that original sticker. That's something you don't see as often on imperial glass pieces because, of course, they've been enjoyed over the years. This one must have sat in a box waiting for you. The Imperial Glass Company has its roots in Bel Air, Ohio in 1901. This indeed is a rare find with an unused, brand new with tags, lemonade set. This pitcher and 6 glasses would be a great addition to your tabletop collection because, as I always say, milk glass is like the little black dress of tabletop. It goes with everything. And here is that original sticker. What's not to love about blue and white chinoiserie and the blue Danube pattern? They even had a set of demi-tasse in another booth. And how about some German Majolica? Those are 2 words you don't usually hear in one sentence. That raised design, colorful pattern indicative of the Majolica style. That pale blue background I think is quite unique. You could even display these. Made in Western Germany, which dates it to probably about the 50s and 60s. West Germany was used more in the 80s and 90s, priced at $225 for a 16-piece set. Love that teapot. And now let's take a look at something that is very small town Texas with a bit of history and ties to a German area of our state going back to the 1800s. Definitely a unique item to feature here, Katy Antiques. I'm not sure that it's for sale. Definitely anchors the room. A bit of Texas history with this bar and the handcrafted store fixtures. They came from Industry, Texas, which is a very small town in Texas near Round Top. It was founded in 1831 by Friedrich Ernst and is known as the cradle of German settlement in Texas. I'll give you a view of the wonderful parts and pieces that came from a store. And imagine in a dry goods store, these would be behind the counter and the shop owner would turn around and pull things out of the drawers and fill your flour sack. It was definitely a different time. You can tell they were well organized. They probably had tags on each of these drawers. And that's great storage. For tabletop essentials, such detailing there, handmade. It's nice to peek into that bit of history. And in these glass cases, I see Waterford Crystal, all kinds of top brands, including something unusual from Finland. And this company actually is owned by Fiskars, which owns Waterford Crystal as well. It's a nice mid-century look. There's some Waterford candle holders, that Christmas vase in the back, along with the bell. Very interesting. And Limoges pieces. And I am noticing the Waterford Christmas tree tray. It's one that I always wanted to add to my collection. I never did. Priced at $70, something I'll think about. Perfect as a candy dish. And a sweet set. The sugar and creamer is priced at $38.50. Made in Bavaria. And now we are back in the mid-century era, and there's so much to share with you here. Platters, dishes, serveware, and some things that will probably take you back in time. Carnival glass. Some of these were made in many different colors. It may look familiar to you, but perhaps you had it in clear. And this server, again, gets my stamp of approval. I think it's fantastic. Priced at $30 with a fleur-de-lis handle. Great for carrying. I have this in pink and green. I do not have the amber. I think that's a color that lends itself to many different looks and seasons. The ruffled vase. Just love that. And this is more of that luster look in the carnival glass. Price at $24. I think that's a very fair price. And the pink server, I just adore the oval shape and the etching. I should have put a sticker on this as well. And that's a space saver. Anything oval fits nicely on a table, priced at $30. Wow. It's a mid-century dream with raffiaware, Pyrex, and some avocado dishes. Let's discover some of these treasures from the 1960s. The all-important serving bowl. We'll talk more about the history and the interesting shapes. Pyrex made many different patterns, highly collectible, some more valuable than others. This is the Golden Harvest and Friendship. And you will notice that these bowls have a different shape. They have that pouring spout and those handles. It's known as the Cinderella style because one of the first patterns made in this style and shape was called Gooseberry, and you guessed it, it was pink. Here's a peek at the Golden Orchard pattern. The Pyrex Butterfly. This was marketed as a three-piece set called Compatibles by Pyrex, and you'll see that butterfly design. It was also made in Golden Orchard in this traditional round shape. This is priced at $24. A color that was definitely trendy in the 1960s. You may have had an appliance to match it. We had an avocado refrigerator and a stove. I've not seen this dinnerware before. I like to find something different and new to me. And you could definitely set the table for 4 people. Authentic placemats, and even those candles take me back to my grandparents' house. Dishes do change with the ages, and the 1960s and 70s, avocado was king. If you were invited for a luncheon, you may have been served off of these Pyrex style glass plates, and of course, that all-important teacup and saucer, priced at $80 for the set. That amber vase is striking. And you could certainly be authentic to the period to shop in this booth. And how about some drinkware that may be familiar to you? They even have aluminum ware. Has sort of a tropical or outdoor look to it. And that definitely takes me back. Raffiaware was started in 1960 by the Mallory Randall Corporation of New York, the first insulated tumbler and the Tervis of its time. These ice cream bowls definitely take me back, well priced at $30 for the set. And I see a very familiar pattern in the classic blue and white. I'm always happy to find Villeroy & Boch in antique stores. I just returned from Germany this week. Stay tuned for some segments. This is the Copenhagen fluted pattern in the classic blue and white that has a Mercury-style backstamp from 1874 to 1909 in Dresden. Eugen von Boch opened up a manufacturing location in Dresden to tap into some new export markets east of Europe. They mostly made crockery, tableware, and even tiles and shop interiors. There's a great example still in Dresden today, the Pfunds Molkerei, where you can see the amazing tiles. This has been reproduced in Mettlach, Germany, where you can go for coffee and cake. $10 is a fair price for this plate from the 1800s. It does have a tiny chip, which is no surprise. It's been enjoyed over the years. And I think China Baroque could do wonders with this and give it new life and incorporate some of these fluted designs into a bracelet and maybe a pendant. I'm wearing a Mason's piece that was repurposed by China Baroque and gifted to me by dear friends. If you're looking for a practical item, you have found it. Something that will serve you and your guests well. I'm sure you wouldn't expect to find Le Creuset brand new for a deal in an antique store, and that's just another reason this is a hidden gem. Let's take a look at this colorful cookware. The Baker is practical, and I think a great item for gifting or using in your kitchen. We have gifted these in our charity events. We donate to the silent auction and filled it with tea towels and other kitchen essentials, and it goes for $400 and up for this 4-quart baking dish, and that red color is such fun. And the artichoke green, I just love. I think this would be a great addition to your kitchen, priced at $175. Le Creuset has made high-quality cast iron pieces since 1925. And if you've been to a high-end kitchen store, you know that these can be even $500. It's a great price today, and there's already a customer that has this one on hold. And if you're looking for an affordable gift, $10 and under, you have found it with 2 color options. Made in Portugal, brand new kitchen towels priced at $10. These would be about $20 at a high-end kitchen store and a great accompaniment to the Le Creuset. These are fantastic, great quality, and another wonderful gift. And the Curtis jar, you may remember from a visit to August Antiques in the Houston Heights. I shared an interesting and sweet history, priced at $55. The half-price sign got my attention, and of course, no surprise, I found a familiar brand. Just love it. This booth is offering 50% off of all items, which would take this Waterford decanter from $70 to $35. It is the Lismore design. It has the same stopper as the Lismore Ships decanter. I'm assuming this is original. Waterford was known to kind of switch around the stopper designs over time. That's an excellent price. 2 of my favorite things, silver and crystal. It's a lovely tea set. And a familiar vase pattern that I will share with you, dating back to the mid-90s. Waterford Crystal launched the Marquis by Waterford line in 1994 when I worked for Waterford. I remember that time period. Everything was made in Germany by the Nachtmann factory at that time. Priced at $69 for the 10-inch Calais vase. It's actually a very good price. This originally would have been well over $100 back in the 90s. They also made this in different sizes, including a rose bowl and bowls. And how about this for size? Priced at $599. It's the most expensive item I've seen in the store today. This is a Waterford crystal pattern made in the 70s and early 80s. It did not have a pattern name to my knowledge. That's back when it just had a style number that described the size. And you can see the scale. It is large. Quite a showstopper. They do have some fashion here as well. One of the brands I noticed is Umgee, which is comfortable, casual, and I love those pops of color. You can find everything in this store, including sensational strawberries. My favorite fruit is well represented here. And this dish might have to come home with me, and the price is right. Strawberry season is my favorite time of the year. This is a piece made exclusively in Portugal for Macy's, as we see on the back stamp, similar to Bordello Pinheiro, priced at $10. I just love this, and I see some more interesting pieces. Let's take a look. A very English item from Hammersley, priced at $48. Love those handles. Hammersley is a porcelain manufacturer synonymous with quality and interesting designs. It's a company that was founded in 1862 by John Hammersley and his brother-in-law John Shaw. They later merged with Spode in 1966. This is a cache pot or cache pot, depending on how you'd like to pronounce it, and lots of great uses for this. Initially intended as a plant holder, you could use this as a centerpiece and place just about anything inside. Use it to hold your pens, pencils, and scissors on a desk if you've got lots of supplies, even tea time essentials, roll up guest towels, or use it as a tissue holder. On this silver-plated grape plateau that is well priced at $45, we see pops of color here with the hand-blown teal grapes. These are fabulous. I've seen these attributed to the mid-century, although I'm not sure of the exact era. And they go for about $50 and up. For $45, the Italian alabaster, or vintage, that would be a nice addition to a centerpiece. Get set for any season with these teal glass grapes. Perfect for fall with a pop of orange, and summer, add some hot pink. My friend Mark has the alabaster grapes that you saw, and this would be a nice addition. Priced at $20 per cluster. I will take these home for him. A $25 overlay with strawberry applique. A fresh look for your tea table. They have some very good prices on our favorite crystal brands. $39 to $49 for a Waterford jam jar or honey pot. Fill it with candies and gift it to a friend or keep it for yourself. The Lismore footed candy dish is $65, a fairly new piece that sold for closer to $200 on their website. And the Lismore thistle vase, $75 is a very good price. For a 7-inch vase, this would go probably for about $300 on their website. Waterford's Swedish Crystal, they have a trio of votive holders, $15 each, makes a great and affordable gift. And you probably get the candle with it. Some really great deals with gifts. And cut to clear, that is a stunning set. Bleak Parian china. I like the shamrock design. $195 for this bohemian set. 6 glasses and the pitcher. You could use that as barware for serving lemonade on the porch. We've talked about the history of Bleak Parian china in a recent visit to Still Good Consignments. And you know that I must adore these to put my stamp on it. These candle holders are stunning and would make a great statement on your dining table. From the America's Heritage Collection, Waterford Crystal made these George Washington candle holders. They originally had a square mahogany base that went with them. I don't think you would need them to display, just part of the collection. And some other pieces you may recognize in the America's Heritage, the Martha Washington Unity vase and the Benjamin Franklin bowl. Another sweet deal. Look at this Waterford Crystal clock. And the price is right. I'm sure this will sell quickly. The time to buy a Waterford Crystal clock is when you see it for under $25. $24.95, and it has that original Waterford sticker and that scallop shell design. That's a deal. I was definitely inspired by this booth. So many ways that you can create a different look, pair things together, and even take something that maybe didn't have working parts and repurpose it into something unique. Design inspiration. In this booth, you will see an eclectic mix of home decor, collectibles, nature, and art. A Star is Born, a creative way to use a measuring stick, and perfect for the Lone Star State of Texas. A foldable measuring tape has been shaped into a star, priced at $17. That's great for July 4th or the new year. No working parts, no problem. There is another way that you can utilize this clock case. Unique ideas to upcycle a piece. This was originally a kitchen clock, named so because it had a built-in timer. It has now been upcycled into a shadow box, priced at $59. I learned so much from antique shopping and seeing how the vendors display their items and draw much inspiration. Clipboard wall art. Who would have thought? You could definitely thrift these clipboards and then use them as inspiration for your design, renovation, a mood board, or simply an affordable way to display something beautiful. Could also be for a collection of letters or photographs. I actually have this book, Simply Flowers. I like the creative ways that these items are placed together. And one other use for one of my favorite tabletop essentials. Picture perfect in so many new ways. This Madison style pitcher from F.B. Rogers has been repurposed into a topiary plant holder. And of course you could simply remove that. It is faux and fabulous. That is clever. And you could certainly embellish that in other ways as well. Some great art here, and an item that you might overlook that is truly the deal of the day. But I did leave it for you, and I gave it a sticker as well. I'll tell you about the history of this type of art and it's in perfect shape. Priced at $49.50, and it could definitely be that pop of color and command the room. Millefiori is an Italian glass-making technique where you take rods of different sizes and colors, fuse them together, and cut them into sections to form a pattern. This is the golden quilt. This small vase is priced at $49.50, which may seem a lot for a small piece. Look on the secondary market. This exact vase is $250 and up. I'm delighted to have finally discovered Katy Antiques, and I feel like I've got so many possibilities now to create some unique looks with vintage finds and some newer decorative items. These linens would also be creative packaging that is sustainable. Think about that next time you're shopping for tissue paper and gift bags. Had such fun today shopping Katy Antiques and seeing lots of great vintage and antique finds with home accents and design inspiration. Thanks again for joining Lady Mary Beth. Elevate your everyday with antique shopping.